Did you bet on anything for ESPN The Ocho yesterday? I saw some very interesting sports going on ESPN yesterday. No DFS, though, I don't think.
I have absolutely no idea what you're talking about.
So yesterday was August 8th, which is ESPN2 turns into The Ocho, and they just air all sorts of janky sports. Like Laffy was talking about combat juggling.
I think I saw
What else do
something
they
about
have? I mean, they do everything, like pizza tossing. You get
Yeah. Okay.
everything that could be ridiculous is on there. So I saw some highlights last night on Instagram, but I would really love for that to be bigger. We need it more than one day.
I would probably watch more ESPN than I do now if that was like a regular thing.
Combat juggling was interesting. Guys were like flipping up bowling pins, and then you could like throw stuff at the people that are juggling, but you have like a human shield too, and they threw a ball and it went straight between the shield's legs and hit the dude that was juggling. Fantastic stuff.
Yeah,
But anyway, that's not what we're here
That
for.
sounds entertaining.
Oh yeah, I would watch it in a heartbeat. Let's get the plugs out of the way first and foremost. MLB Strategy is the promo code. 50% off your first month of Awesemo Plus. Any monthly package you choose. It can include Fantasy Cruncher. All you have to do is use that promo code MLB Strategy. One big word. After you select your package, there will be a section that's set that for you to enter your coupon code. You just need to enter it there. And we are brought to you, as always, on Fridays and every other day for the Strategy Show by Yahoo Sports. I'm going to drop the link into chat right now for Emacs Yahoo specific strategy article, which comes out every single Friday. In it, he'll give you pitcher picks, stacks, hitters, and you'll have some information at the top to find out how to sign up at Yahoo. You could use the promo code AWESEMO and get up to $30 in Yahoo Sports rewards points. Yahoo's running their no management fee contests every day, $3 to get in, 10 max, usually fills by noon, so you want to get there early. They are running a relatively smooth payout structure contest, a 33% payout, so it's a little bit flatter, better for the user. It honestly is the best place for the casual to play. Highly recommended. You should check it out and check out Emacs article when you get a chance. I have lineup study pulled up for yesterday. Doesn't seem like it was a fantastic day for us. I've got your exposures here. I've got Alex's exposures here. 31% Chris Sale for you, 22% for Alex. Went out and dropped 46.8 yesterday. But the Angels are a bad strikeout matchup. I don't know how it happened. He's so good.
Sale?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's amazing.
And then we also get to see the nice 35% owned Gio Urshela for Alex yesterday. That's a big time number for a hitter.
Yeah, must be nice to get more than 0% Urshela.
Yes, I am enjoying this orange cell with no numbers in it whatsoever.
Yeah, I stopped paying attention to baseball really quickly last night when I realized that I had a mistake in my upload.
Can't say I blame you. Yeah, you were both on. Hernandez for Miami went for 28.5. That's a really big score for someone at 5K. But both of you guys were 4x plus the field. I like it more than
Played
me.
him in head-to-head too.
Nice. Smart. My dog knocked over my garbage can. Fantastic job, Briggs. Fantastic job. I'll pick up that garbage later, buddy. You do you. Yeah, I bet you're scared, man. You did all of it. Anything interesting? Any takeaways from yesterday? I'm looking at your top stacks in the aggregate right now. It looks like your top owned stack was the New York Yankees.
Yep.
Not to mention, Alex had, I don't know, like 60% more than you did, and you were over the field.
Oh, wow.
Alex went hard in the paint on the Yanks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no huge takeaways. I think my best lineup in 150 max last night had Matt Boyd, so that was fun.
Not a great one for Boyd yesterday.
No, I think it scored almost 200 points with his -7.
Ooh, I didn't realize that it went to -7. I just knew that it didn't go well. Let's take a look at the top lineup from the $15 on DK. Yeah, the dog is shook now. He's up on the couch hiding behind a pillow. Good job, buddy. Man, we've been seeing this a lot lately. I feel like I say the same story every time we talk. The $15 on DK was won by a single bullet last night for $50K.
Wow.
Maybe we need to stop MMEing and just start entering single bullets into contests with 19,000 people.
Yeah.
I mean, it's always a single bullet winner. Isn't that how this works? I see a single bullet winning a lot, so therefore I should play one lineup instead of 150.
Yeah. I mean, if I did 150 max and I just played one lineup, I'd always win.
Yep. 4-man Cubs stack, no other accompanying stack. Left $200 on the table. Chris Sale, John Gray combo, which is fascinating considering John Gray only put up 9.35.
I was going to say, didn't Gray stop?
I mean, he wasn't good. This could have been a very different number. Well, how much was Bumgarner last night?
8,400.
Okay. So he could have used that extra $200 to get to Bumgarner, add 15 additional points, and win this contest by 28.
Yeah, he was either 84 or 86. I think he was 84.
One off Miguel Cabrera, one off Starlin Castro, one off Gio Urshela, obviously, and a 5-point scoring Jose Iglesias. That's short. Amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Good for him.
Single bullets. Shout out to Sleepy Floyd. 2-1. On the mini-max side of things, order was restored. It was won by a 150 max. 5-man Cub stack, 2-man Indian stack. Everybody in the top 11 of the mini-max had the same Sale Hernandez combo, which I would have assumed had to be used to win a contest yesterday, but apparently not.
No, Miami was so cheap.
Yeah, that's true.
Then went off.
Although what's odd is no Miami stacks are in the top 11 of the mini-max. It's all Cubs primaries. It's not even a Miami secondary.
Probably just because they had no ownership.
Yeah. I mean, Hernandez obviously there, but I'm not even seeing like individual Marlins bats. Castro in one lineup, that's about it. It's craziness.
Yeah. Yeah, I was going to say, because like I assumed Hernandez would have needed to be in the lineup, but like my best lineup didn't have him, even though 40% of my lineups did, just because it was a Miami stack.
Yeah. I mean, Sale was obviously the necessity.
Yeah.
Hernandez spread out a little bit more. A lot of Bumgarner as well, which makes some sense. I mean, that's a pretty solid game for 8,400 if you can get the low-priced hitter pieces together when you pay up at pitcher. You're in fine shape. Shout out to Nick Castellanos for the 35 burger yesterday.
Yeah, he's enjoying his time with the Cubs, it seems.
I bet he is. When's the last time that the Tigers were good?
I think Castellanos was like a rookie or second year or something.
Gotcha. I was going to say, like, it's been not great for him, so this must have been a very nice change. Going to a successful team loaded with stars in a baseball-hungry town. Must be nice.
Yeah.
Alrighty, we've got, 14 games today? Yes.
14
games. I'm going to grab ownership. I assume it is out. And then you and I can knock this out.
Sounds good.
As a whole, have you taken a look at this slate? What do you think of it?
I mean, I kind of quickly looked through the pitching.
Okay.
It's another slate with good pitching again, which is nice. Lofty and I had talked yesterday about it. Felt like before yesterday's slate, we just had like day after day of every team using terrible pitchers. So I think this one has a nice balance of pitchers that we can take hitters against and pitchers that aren't the worst idea to roster.
I agree.
I do wish
it's a different style of pitching today than it was yesterday. I don't know. We'll get to it, I guess.
Yeah. I do wish Drew Smiley's price tag would move because having to play him as chalk is getting really annoying.
Yeah, I just won't do it. I like another piece of garbage at the bottom. Like Matt Freeland.
Oh, yeah.
But if the Padres do run out 8 righties, it might not be the case.
I forgot about your thing with Freeland.
Well, Yeah. He 4,800.
Yeah.
Oh, my thing with Freeland. I guess I have one of those. Let's get into it. Ownership is not up yet, but I assume it is coming imminently. So thank you to Tom. Oh, ownership came out 2 seconds ago. Thank you, Jake. I guess I will get ownership. Copy. It's Monty Grandal chalk today. Oh, there's the Walker Buehler Drew Smiley combo at the top. Surprise, surprise.
As it should be.
I don't know about that. I'm anti-trash pitchers in Philadelphia.
So
All right, let's start it off. Orioles and Astros. Orioles 4.2 run implied total. Astros 6.3. 69% chance to win for Houston.
nice.
Dylan Bundy going for the O's. Wade Miley going for Houston. Neither guy picking up any ownership. I don't get the sense that I'm looking for Dylan Bundy against the Astros in Baltimore, and I think there are going to be better spots than taking a 9K Wade Miley in Baltimore as well. Do you have any interest in either guy?
No, I'm right there with you. It's just obviously a really, really difficult matchup for Bundy. The salary is reasonable, but other than that, you're talking about an Astros team that just has tons of power. A pitcher in Bundy that gives up, home runs, not a lot of strikeouts in the Houston lineup. Cheap pitching that is in a better, cheap pitchers that are in better spots than Bundy. And then on the other side, Miley's good enough at preventing runs, but he's just not a strikeout guy. And paying up for him, you're really just paying for more for his ceiling than you are for his medium projection.
Yeah, we are on the exact same page here. Trying to see who else is around him. Yeah, like I'd rather have Tehran. I'd rather have Darvish. Hell, I'd probably rather have Brad Keller. Yeah, I don't need Wade Miley, no matter how good or bad the Orioles are. Well, let's talk offense here. 6.3 run implied total for the Stros is one of the tops of the day. One of two teams above 6, although the Brewers could be, depending on where you're looking. They are 5th in ownership on FanDuel and 7th on DraftKings. They are my number 1 team of the day. How do you feel about Houston?
Yeah, I think it's a really good spot. I mean, Bundy gives up a ton of power, especially to right-handed hitters. For whatever reason, he's actually been pretty decent at limiting left-handed power this year. But I don't love his chances of limiting, Brantley or especially Alvarez. And then you get all kinds of right-handed power from Houston. So they're always a really fun team to stack too, because for one, they're expensive. So that'll keep their ownership in check as far as the full stack goes. But you also get, like Carlos Correa normally gives you a piece that comes in at lower ownership than the rest of the team. If you go to the bottom of the order and you take like Reddick or Maldonado or clearly overpriced Gurriel, they will come in at lower ownership. So they're a team where they have power throughout their lineup. They have decent hitters even at the bottom. And it's just a team that's really easy to be contrarian in the way that you stack it.
Yeah, they are hyper expensive today, too. This is probably one of the more expensive teams I've ever seen outside of Coors.
Yeah, no, I agree. I kind of was, as I was talking, I was looking at the DraftKings pricing and it was just like, this is insane.
Seven guys north of 5K.
Yeah. FanDuel, they're a little more reasonable. Yahoo, it's the same thing. The top 7 hitters are all $20 or more.
Yeah. Now, let's be clear here. They should be. Like, all of these guys are incredibly talented. Those prices are warranted in Baltimore against Dylan Bundy.
The only argument that I would make that they aren't is it has nothing to do with the Astros, but when you compare it to like other teams,
sure.
Even looking at, the next game, if you look at the Yankees with a 5.9 implied run total, like the entire Astros lineup is pushing, $1,000 to $1,500 more expensive than the entire Yankees lineup.
Yeah, relative value a little bit different here.
Yeah, but I mean, it just means that their ownership will be very appealing in tournaments.
Yeah, like Carlos Correa at 2%.
Yeah.
Seems a little low. Could just be me. I don't know. But it seems a little low. Do you have a favorite Astros bat?
Bregman
at 20% ownership on FanDuel right now, but it's hard for me to disagree. I don't feel bad about any one of the names that are in the first 6, though. That's for sure.
Yeah, I agree.
Do you have any interest in Orioles bats against Wade Miley?
Not a lot. I mean, like
Unowned, obviously.
Yeah, like if there's some value, Hanser Alberto leading off, just a really low strikeout guy. He's going to put the ball in play, decent hitter. Nunez is cheap, Severino's cheap, but not guys that I expect to be getting lots of.
Yeah, I don't really have anybody outside of Nunez that looks like somebody I want. Meanwhile, I want everything from Houston.
Yep.
You would think with those prices that Maldonado would be more popular, but he's not.
I mean, it's because like Maldonado would be more popular if the Houston stack as a whole was going to be popular because he'd be getting pulled in the lineups. But
that's true.
If people are just grabbing one-offs, it's not forcing Maldonado in.
Right. Yeah, go Astros tonight. I don't really know what else to say. This is
I hope I get to a lot.
Spot. Yeah, I know.
I mean, I very easily could just not because they're so expensive. But
this is one of those things. We didn't talk about it any further. I messaged you a couple days ago and said, I wonder if we should just be picking our stacks.
Oh, yeah, I totally forgot you had sent me that.
Yeah, just like, okay, you run a crunch. I got 1 5-man Astros. I just type a 10 in there, and it gives me the 10 highest 5-man Astro stacks that I have, and I just move on. Instead of having to functionally, adjust dials, so to speak, in different ways. Just make the damn decisions. Yeah, and then let the rest of it fill out as it may. I don't try to pick all 150 like that, but to guarantee those leverage spots.
Right.
Something I'll look into in 2020.
Yeah.
Shit ain't happening in mid-August. Keeping it moving. Blue Jays and Yankees, 4.8 run implied total for the Jays, 5.7 for the Yanks, 58% chance to win for New York. Sean Reed Foley going for Toronto. J.A. Happ going for the Yanks. No ownership at all going to Foley. Foley, 7,700 on DraftKings for reasons that I won't understand. Happ for the Yanks, 4% on FanDuel, 4% on DK. Nothing crazy. Do you want Happ against the Jays?
Probably not. The price tag's okay, but I just think that there's better point per dollar options, and he's not someone that's likely to give you a great score. So if you're rostering him, it's mostly because of the salary more than anything. Only an 18.6% strikeout percentage this year. So if I'm taking that approach, I would rather just save a little bit more money.
Yeah, same page. Just don't need it. Some of this righty power also gets me pretty nervous.
Yep. Given
Happ's propensity for giving up tons of power to right-handers. So I'm going to go ahead and skip that one.
Yeah. Bichette, Grichuk, Guerrero, Hernandez, Jansen, all pretty solid options. Gurriel.
Whole team unowned. So I like Toronto a lot.
Yeah, same here.
Everybody you named, I expect Toronto, if this ownership holds, to be the team that I'm probably most over the field on, just given the fact that they have 1% aggregate ownership. This is a no-brainer to me.
Yeah, at least as one-offs or mini stacks.
Yeah, especially the Gurriel, Grichuk, Guerrero trio.
Yep.
Not that I don't like Galvis or Bichette or anything, but just that core, mid-4s. Can't beat it. I love it. DFS strategy drinking game. Drink when Adam mentions his initial crunches. Drink when Josh says he doesn't disagree. Drink when Josh has an opposite take as Adam. Drink when Josh's Excel sheet freezes. Shit, you guys are going to be hammered by 11 o'clock in the morning. Why is Sean Reed Foley 7,700 on DraftKings?
I don't know.
It was more rhetorical than anything else. All right, let's talk about the Yankees. 6th in ownership on FanDuel, 2nd on DK. They are 7th for me right now, oddly enough. I like them. They are all basically $1,000 cheaper than the Astros. How do you feel about the Yanks here?
Good. Yeah. They're really, really cheap. I could certainly see where I come in underweight just because I imagine they're going to be really, really popular, and they probably should be. Their prices all dropped, I think, like $500 to $1,000 since yesterday.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, Aaron Judge at 4,200 once again is kind of, if you want to fade him in tournaments, go for it because he's going to be really popular, obviously. But in cash games, I can't really imagine not having him. Didi's really cheap. If Torres is back, he's cheap. The whole lineup is just really favorably priced.
Hope everybody's drinking right now. There's a frozen Excel sheet. Drink when Jake doesn't understand a movie reference. I think you could add Adam to that list.
Definitely can add me to that.
Yeah. Once the sheet stops being frozen, we can continue to move on. Do you have a favorite bat in this game? I think it's kind of interesting to think about it just because of the way that the Blue Jays are set up.
From a point per dollar standpoint, it's obviously Judge, but
yeah,
I think that Guerrero or Chick probably, or Bichette.
I'm just updating the Royals and Tigers lines for this game. I didn't have any of those this morning, so just wanted to make sure I got the correct stuff before we got there. Rays 136, 126. I thought there were more games that didn't have lines, but there it is. Rangers and Brewers. I'm really tired of having like 5 games that don't have lines every morning. Just hang something and put a low limit out, man. You're killing me. All right, I think I'm back.
Was it just the Tigers game today?
There were 3 games this morning that did not have lines.
Yeah.
Which I guess is better than it normally is, but also still not appealing for me. Yeah, so obviously I agree with your call on Judge from a point. I mean, that Judge Gregorius Gleyber Torres trio is just really good and, better than 4K guys, but
yep.
Lots of interesting hitting here. And if the Yankees trio is getting 21, 13, and 21% ownership respectively, give me the Blue Jays trio. Did you just, I don't know, win a slot machine?
No, it's just like the pop-up blocker.
Oh. Red Sox and Angels. 6.4 run implied total for the Red Sox. 4.6 for the Angels. 66% chance to win for Boston. Brian Johnson going for the Sox. Jaime Barria going for the Angels. No ownership to either guy. No interest from me. Any interest from you?
No, not in the pitching.
Yep, same page. Red Sox, 3rd in ownership on FanDuel, 5th on DraftKings. Angels, 4th on FanDuel, 4th on DraftKings. Of these 2 teams, which one of those ownership numbers do you think sounds more correct? I don't know why I just said it like that.
So I don't even really know how to answer that.
I don't really know what I just said.
The Red Sox are the one I like better.
Sure, there we go. That seems reasonable. Oh God, I'm stupid. Okay, what do you like about the Red Sox here against Barria?
So I mean, the pricing is it's right between the Yankees and the Astros. They're expensive, but they're easier to get to than the Astros will be because you can use the bottom of the order better. Barria has struggled with right-handed power basically ever since he came up. Since last year, 17% strikeout percentage against righties, 220 expected ISO, 357 expected WOBA, and now has to deal with Betts, Bogarts, Martinez. Vasquez even has some power at catcher. And then the lefties, at least towards the top of the order, are good enough where I don't really care that Barria's reverse splits. Like, I'll still take Devers. I'll still take Benintendi.
Yeah.
So I just think it's a pretty good spot for Boston. Obviously, like that they're at home. I think that the pricing is a nice happy medium of they won't be super popular and they are not that difficult to get to.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I really like the righties here against Barria. But what do you think about the ownership coming in for the Angels against Brian Johnson? Like I said, 4th on both sites right now.
I think it makes some sense. The problem for me is just that Ohtani, while he's a really good hitter, he's nowhere near as good at hitting left-handed pitching. Like Upton's a really good value. Trout, of course, is a great play. Other than that, where do you go in this lineup?
Wilfredo Tovar.
Yeah,
I don't know what I don't know what that is.
He projects to have like a .089 ISO from Steamer.
Yeah, yeah. You said Max Stassi. The old 2K on DK projected for 18% ownership. So if you're looking for a cash game catcher, congratulations, everybody! You just found one.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I really can't disagree. The Red Sox rank 3rd for me. The Angels rank 4th. They're right there with the ownership. I assume that I will just get different teams than the Angels, and that I will get a little bit more of the Red Sox. But the Brewers and the Yankees also getting some ownership that I don't totally love, so maybe I'm just going to have to open up more money for more Astros. Do you have a favorite bat in this game?
JD.
Okay. JD,
Or Mookie.
Xander, and Mookie, all 5K.
Yeah, I'll say JD or Mookie. It's kind of a coin flip.
Yeah, as it should be. I completely agree. Drink up.
I thought it was when you disagree.
I think it's when I agree as well.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. Let me go back up. Oh, okay. Josh, drink when Josh says he doesn't disagree. Also, drink when Josh has an opposite take. So, drink every time we talk about a game. That'll go well for everybody. I mean, that sounds like a drinking game I would have created in college to make sure
Right.
that I was hammered inside of an hour.
Yeah, exactly.
Keeping it going here. Cincinnati Reds taking on the Chicago Cubs. 4.3 run implied total for the Reds. 4.3 run implied total for the Cubs. Coin flip game. Your boy, since you created the entire Reds staff, Trevor Bauer going for Cincinnati. Yu Darvish going for the Cubs. Ooh, buckle up. Bauer, 30% owned on Yahoo, 11 on FanDuel, 19 on DraftKings. Darvish, around 10% on the two pitcher sites. Let's start with Bauer here. That's some pretty big ownership for Bauer against the Cubs in Cincinnati. What do you think of it?
Yeah, I don't totally get it. I think Bauer's fine, but I'm not looking to. I don't know. I'm not super excited about him in this spot. It's a terrible park for pitchers as far as power goes. We know the Cubs have power. His price tag is fine. 48 on Yahoo is appealing, but he's still only $2 less expensive than Walker Buehler. He's a little over 10K on DraftKings. And something that we talked about when that trade first happened is that he could very easily lose some DFS value being in the National League, because a lot of his value with the Indians just came from the fact that he was going to go really deep into every game. But now you have him getting pinch hit for. So that, is a reason why his price tag should drop a bit. He projects well for me, but I have him projected behind Strasburg. I have him behind Buehler. I don't know. I don't think I get to the field.
You mentioned the Yahoo price. I mean, we've got him at 30% and Bieber at 3%. I'll just take Bieber. Not like I like the spot for Bieber, but if there's no Nelson Cruz in the Twins lineup, even more helpful.
Yeah, I didn't even realize Bieber was 49. I just saw Buehler was 50.
Yeah. Bieber also $500 more expensive on DraftKings, only 3% ownership.
Pretty much
look. If it was just a good Cincinnati park and he wasn't facing the Cubs, it's a different story. But he is facing the Cubs.
Yeah, exactly. You look at this year, he comes in at 27.5%. Granted, he did move to the National League, so that should go up a bit since he's facing pitchers now. Yeah. But still behind Buehler, behind Strasburg, behind Smith, behind Bieber, behind Ray, behind even Darvish in this game. So I just think that given the top tier of pitching on this slate, I can find either lower owned or higher projected options that I like a little bit better.
Yeah. This is going to sound totally stupid, but that should be par for the course for me. I feel like Trevor Bauer would be worse than the normal pitcher against pitchers because he would overthink it. Trying to just throw super weird nonsense to them, and then he just loses them and walks them. Instead of just gassing them up and not even worrying about it. He would overcomplicate things. Any interest in Darvish?
Not really. Just not. He projects reasonably well, but not good enough that I think I'm going to get him into lineups because the price point's not really that appealing. Yeah. The Reds aren't a great offense, but they don't have tons of strikeouts in there either. Same negative park factors for him, obviously, as for Bauer. So I kind of doubt that I get to either side.
I will get to more Darvish than I would get to Bauer, I think, but I don't get the sense that I'm going to get to either guy with any sort of volume.
I would guess I get to more Bauer, but I really just don't think I'll get to much of either.
Yeah, that is the more likely scenario for me, that I just don't have either guy. But I would just rather have the extra $1,000 is really where it all comes down to, and lesser ownership. I don't really feel fond of either part, and it's always better to face the Reds instead of the Cubs. Neither team really picking up a ton of ownership. We'll just say that they're ranked in and around 10th across all of the sites. How do you feel about the bats?
I don't love them, but I do think that Anthony Rizzo's price tag on DraftKings at 4,400 is really appealing. On FanDuel, he's 3,700. On Yahoo, he is 16. Bauer has struggled with lefties in particular this season. I was looking since last season. I was like, those numbers are way better than I thought. This year, he's allowed a 196 expected ISO. He's only struck out 23.7%. Rizzo is a really tough guy to strike out and benefits from the hitting conditions here. So I think that he stands out. And then I think you can look to some kind of underpriced guys on the Reds. Josh Van Meter is affordable, probably hitting cleanup. Votto's cheap. Winker's cheap.
Van Meter, $9 on Yahoo.
Yeah, it's a really nice price tag there.
Yeah, I have the Cubs as my number 8 stack, so they're coming in sort of right with the ownership. I have the Reds 18th, so to me they're coming in a little bit over-owned, although I really don't have much issue grabbing lefties against Darvish. 10% less K rate for him, gives up the power. So the Winker, Votto, Van Meter trio looks fine to me.
1.64 home runs per 9 for Darvish this year going into Cincinnati just makes me have some interest in a cheap Cincinnati team.
I get it. I can't disagree. I did that on purpose.
Yeah, I figured.
So drink up, everybody. Shout out to the people. I hope you guys are West Coast people doing this. Shout out to the alcoholics knocking it back at 7 a.m.
Does that really change if they're East Coast people? It's 10.
I think that it does. Does it not?
I mean, it changes. It's like going from you really have a problem to you still have a problem.
I don't know. If I cracked a beer at 7 a.m., I would feel a little bit different if I cracked it at 10 a.m. 7 a.m. is like, oh, cool, it's St. Pat's. 10 a.m. is like, oh, I'm at brunch.
Yeah, I guess.
7 a.m. is aggressive. I mean, we're getting to the point where the sun might not be up.
No, I mean, like, I'm not disagreeing that 7 a.m. would be ridiculous. I'm just saying that, like, the number of times that I'm drinking a beer at 10 a.m. is pretty close to the same number of times I'm drinking one at 7.
Very true. Jeffrey Morrow says, Josh, do you have a Mets shirt on? No, I have a John Cena shirt on. It's worse. All right, you ready to keep it moving? Actually, favorite bat in this game?
Rizzo Van Meter.
Okay. I want Brian at 4,300. I don't care if it's Bauer. He is a top 25 hitter after all.
That is confirmed.
Tigers and Royals. Jesus, 4.8 run. Oh, that makes sense. 4.8 run implied total for the Tigers. 5.7 for the Royals, which I didn't understand, but then I kept reading. Edwin Jackson going for the Tigers. Brad Keller going for the Royals. How much Edwin Jackson do you want today? 4,400. Is it on the table?
I don't think so because of Smiley and even Freeland, but especially Smiley. I just don't think I'll need to get there. It's close to a 6 implied run total for Kansas City. Jackson has just been awful this year. 391 expected ISO with a 10% strikeout percentage to righties so far. 262 with a 16.9% strikeout percentage to lefties. His WOBA allowed is 421 to lefties, 575 to righties. It's not like it's a huge sample size, but his job in the major leagues at this point is apparently he's a nice guy. He gets along well with others, and he can fill a rotation spot for teams like the Tigers that need someone to fill a rotation spot so they don't have to like bring up an actual prospect.
Why wouldn't you just take a flyer on a live arm that's young?
I mean, they're in minor league systems.
You mean to tell me that Edwin Jackson is the best available arm that is not in someone's minor league system? I find that hard to believe.
I don't think they want the best available arm.
Why?
Because they have no interest in winning games right now, and they would rather.
I don't think they're going to find a winning pitcher in this scenario, but they might find one that has an arm that is valuable to them in the future. There's no reason that Edwin Jackson should make a start in the major league.
Then that guy should be at AAA and not facing major league hitters getting blown up.
I think we're talking about two separate styles of pitcher right now. Someone unassociated with a team, whether they're an independent ball, whatever. Just a guy that was projectable, a guy working back. Anybody other than 500-year-old Edwin Jackson.
Yeah, I'm just like, what's the benefit of that guy pitching in the majors instead of signing him to a minor league deal?
Hold on. I need to pitch something to you and go let people in my house.
Okay.
Talk to me about the Royals bats against Jackson.
All right, yeah. So obviously a really good spot for Kansas City. Terrible pitcher in Jackson. Not a good bullpen behind them either. The top four, it's the same thing that we kind of always talk about. The top four for Kansas City are actually good hitters with Merrifield, Gordon, and then Dozier and Soler, both just monster power, both approaching 300 ISOs against right-handed pitching this year. That sets up really, really nicely against Jackson. So I love Dozier. I love Soler. I think Merrifield and Gordon are both really good plays as well. And then, you can round it out with a really, really cheap Ryan O'Hearn or with Chesler Cuthbert. Nicky Lopez is sub 3K. There's not good hitting at the bottom of the Kansas City lineup, but there's at least some value that you can use to round out stacks. But the priorities are definitely Dozier, Soler, Merrifield, Gordon.
Okay, so what do you think about the Royals?
Love Kansas City.
Okay, yeah. We have a house showing right now, but we left the chain on the front door, so all it takes is just this little chain. Everybody can't do anything. They should have tried the back door. Anyway, that could go multiple directions. So it's not that I don't like Kansas City. I think they're going a little bit over-owned, but in theory, they're not. This isn't a stack that's getting ownership as a 5-man. Ryan O'Hearn at 22%, and then Merrifield at 15%. Everybody else in single digits.
Right. See, I think that Dozier and Soler with their 270 plus ISOs are standout options that won't really get ownership. Gordon's a great value. Merrifield's a really good play. And then just give me any fifth guy, and I really don't care.
Exactly.
They're all just so cheap.
Yeah, and it's Edwin Jackson. T. McBee made a good point. Look at the kid the A's signed after throwing on the jugs gun at the game.
Yeah, they didn't sign him to the Athletics.
Right, but why not? Fuck it.
Because that probably ruins any chance of him ever actually developing into something decent.
I mean, you would think he would get better work with the major league team, right? Aside from going out every fifth day and getting blasted.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that it's pretty tough to develop at that level.
Is it? I'd be more willing to develop if I knew that I was going to get shelled every fifth day, but I was getting paid the major league minimum instead of being a completely unemployed person previous to it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying the guy wouldn't rather be in the major leagues.
Yeah.
I think you would also probably piss off an entire clubhouse doing that.
Right. I don't disagree there.
I think for Edwin Jackson, he is fine in this role. Him being there doesn't make anyone else mad, and they don't have to burn options. Why?
Because he's taking up a spot of someone that could be good. There's nothing that will ever redeem Edwin Jackson at this point, unless he takes
so
steroids.
The Tigers definitely have better pitchers in the minor leagues, and if they call them up, they start their service time, and it's bad for the club. So,
agreed.
Throwing Jackson out there just to eat a spot with a nice guy that gets along with everyone and is well respected within baseball is just something that they can do, and it doesn't make everyone else mad.
Fuck everybody else. All right. Favorite Royals bat rather.
Dozier.
Okay. Probably Soler for me, but either way. Do you have any interest in Tigers bats
less
against Keller?
Did you say any Tigers bats against Keller?
Yeah.
No. If he was cheaper, I would have interest in him. I just don't really want to roster him at 8K.
Yeah, neither do I. I don't have anything else here. Thanks for covering for me while I ran downstairs.
No problem. So I guess Keller does deserve a mention because the mid-range of pitching is just so bad today. It's Top and then Drew Smyly. So I can see getting to some Keller just if I need a pitcher in that price range. I think he is overpriced, but I think that he's one of the better values in that 6 to 9K range.
Oh, cool. Tiger withdrew.
Did you play a lot of Tiger this week?
Do you think I would have pointed it out if I didn't?
I just wanted confirmation.
I did.
I have 0.
Well, he had that quote before it started, Yesterday I was hitting the ball with Brooks. Today my back's a little stiff. I was like, okay, well maybe on Thursday his back will feel better today. No, it didn't. He played like shit and is now on his way home. Cool. Thanks, Tiger.
I didn't play, so.
Oh, well, okay. Much like the Tigers and Tiger, I hate them both. To the Mets we go. I am not wearing a Mets shirt. 3.6 run implied total for the Mets, 3.9 for the Nats. It's a 54% chance to win for Washington. Marcus Stroman going for New York. Steven Strasburg going for the Nationals. Strasburg, 24% owned on Yahoo, 14 on FanDuel, 21 on DraftKings. He is the third highest ownership as of right now, but a lot of people bunched right around 20. Nobody breaking free from the pack. How do you feel about Strass against the Mets?
He's one of the guys that I think I'll probably get to. The projected ownership seems reasonable on him. He's been really good this year. Obviously coming off of a tough start, but 29.7% strikeout percentage against righties, 29.6 against lefties, 258 expected WOBA to righties, 270 to lefties. Not a lot of power to either side. Mets projected lineup only has McNeil and Conforto from the left side, so has a platoon advantage against most of the guys in the lineup. Slight favorite, so yeah, I think Strasburg's a good play.
Can't disagree. Drink up, everybody. It's the Mets. Every single one of these pitchers at the top has a wart today. I think Strasburg's is kind of just like the least warty of the warts.
Yeah, it's that the Mets are a decent offense.
Yeah. And I like Strasburg here. So he's a guy I agree that I will have. I assume that my combination will be some sort of Buehler, Strasburg, Bieber thing, maybe a little Caleb Smith. I just think Bauer is going to easily fall away.
That's also what I think.
Well, that's because I said it. Giving you all the best ideas. Any Marcus Stroman?
Probably not. Just not a strikeout guy. He's pushing $9,000 on DraftKings. On Yahoo, he is 35, which is reasonable. But I think I'd still rather go to Gio Gonzalez or Jalen Beeks.
Trying to see who's around
or Drew Smiley or Beatty. So again, it's just kind of he's a good pitcher. He's good at preventing runs. He's good at getting outs. He has one of the lowest barrels per batted ball percentages in base. All that's really good, but it doesn't really translate into being great for DFS. 19.1% strikeout percentage just isn't really something I'm looking for at his price tag, especially against a Nats team that is difficult to strike out on its own.
Nats are 20th in ownership on FanDuel, 22nd on DK. Mets are in the low 20s. Do you anticipate stacking up either side of this game?
Probably not. I just have enough respect for both pitchers.
Yeah, I don't really have anybody I want to name. Do you know how Stroman is at holding runners?
Nope. I can look.
Otherwise, the only thing that I'm really interested in is Trey Turner, if that happens.
I mean, Turner's going to run regardless.
Right, but if he's bad, then it's better. Best I could do. Josh, did you end up playing a ton of Angels last night, or did you fix that? I mean, I was over the field on the Angels, but it wasn't anything too crazy.
Stroman has allowed 8 stolen bases in 129 innings this year. For his career, he's pretty much always graded out as neutral.
Okay. I don't have anything else. Good to move on?
Yeah. Yep.
Marlins and Braves, 3.6 run implied total for the Marlins, 4.4 for the Braves, 59% chance to win for Atlanta. Caleb Smith going for the Marlins. Julio Teheran going for the Braves. Smith is at 10% on Yahoo, 6 on FanDuel, 5 on DK. Teheran 7, 3, and 7. So both of these guys in the 5 to 10% range. Who would you rather have? And do you have any thoughts on those ownership numbers?
I guess I'd rather have Smith just because he's the better strikeout guy and Teheran's expensive. Teheran clearly has the better matchup against Miami, though. Yeah. He's just been so bad this year. If Teheran's at 7%, I think I'd probably come in a little bit over that. I also kind of think that his ownership probably climbs throughout the day.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, I know he's been not as good this year, but having him against a sea of righties in Miami, at least in theory, used to be the best thing you could possibly hope for.
I mean, Dallas Keuchel was almost 25% owned last night. People are going to just flood pitching against Miami.
Yeah. Yeah, and if that starts to climb, then it makes it really easy to not do it.
Right.
Caleb Smith, on the other hand, running into just a really scary offense. He's good. He's certainly good from DFS purposes. The park will help, but you want to tackle him against Atlanta?
Yeah, I mean, it's just a really tough spot. Lots of righties. Pitching in Miami is favorable for him. He does have the stuff to strike righties out. He has a 31% strikeout percentage against righties this year, but he does give up some power with a 214 ISO. And with guys like Acuna, Albies from his better side, Donaldson, Duvall, Camargo from his better side, Flowers, has some pop. It's not the easiest lineup for Smith. There are certainly some slates where I'd be more willing to take a chance on him. But with all of the arms at the top and with it being a 14-game slate where it's not going to be difficult to be contrarian in some part of your lineup, I doubt that I get to a lot of Smith.
Yeah, I mean, I like that he's 5% owned, but ultimately I don't think it's going to matter all that much for me.
Like, I would rather have Bieber at I'd rather, if I'm going to the low owned guy, I'd take Bieber.
I agree. Hitting, Marlins are 13th on FanDuel, 12th on DraftKings. That is all Diaz. Everybody else is at 1 or 2%. So this is not a stack type situation. Braves are 11th and 9th. Not really a lot of ownership coming in here, and I don't get the sense that I want much. I'd be more likely to go to Atlanta if Smith were getting more ownership, but this is just a bad park for offense.
Yeah, I think that Diaz is a good value option. And you can always make a case for stacking the Braves, but it is an unappealing park. They do have some nice value in their lineup, though. Camargo's only 2,800 on DraftKings with multi-position eligibility. Albies is reasonably priced. Acuna is actually below 5K. I don't think they'll be like my highest owned stack or anything, but I do think the pricing's pretty appealing.
Agreed. Getting that like Acuna, Albies, Donaldson, Duvall, or something, even lumping Flowers in there, it's not going to succeed a ton because of this park and the fact that Caleb Smith is just decent, but getting some righties against him can't hurt. You have a favorite bat in this game?
Diaz.
Okay. I didn't know if it would be Acuna since he's under 5K now.
Yeah, Acuna and Albies are like the best upside guys, I guess. Diaz is the best salary.
Got it. All right. Perfect opportunity for everybody to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you know when we go live. Coming up directly after this show, 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time, Awesemo Odds betting show. Ben Rasa and Jordan Frank talking NFL win total bets, what they like, what they don't like. We'll have the Yahoo specific strategy show at 1 p.m. Eastern. Jake Hari and the boss man Alex Baker. No me today. Sorry, guys. We'll have the deeper dive. 4:45 today. Adam and Laffy breaking down all 14 games once again, and then live before lock 6 to 7. Chris Spags, Jake Hari closing it out and taking you guys to 7. And if you're really interested, since we won't have a show at that time, from 3 o'clock to 5 o'clock Eastern Time, the champions of Europe, Liverpool, will be making their Premier League debut. Check that out. Move on to the 8 o'clock games. Brewers and Rangers. 5.6 run implied total for the Brewers, 4.4 for the Rangers, 62% chance to win for Milwaukee. Gio Gonzalez going for the Brewers. Colby Allard. Yeah, going for the Rangers. Former Brave going for the Rangers. Allard getting no ownership. I didn't know if that double L was a Y. Gonzalez, 11% ownership on Yahoo, 10 on FanDuel, 16 on DK. You want Gio Gonzalez against the Rangers?
I don't hate it. The Rangers really just not a good lineup. They lose a designated hitter. They already don't have Joey Gallo. Most of their good hitters or their better hitters are left-handed, so they either won't be in the lineup or they're at a disadvantage. It's just a really bad lineup. They're outside of Texas. Gonzalez isn't great, but he's not awful. He's kind of like Brad Keller to me, where I don't really think roster construction-wise I'll end up in this price range all that often. But he's fine if I do.
Using my projected plate appearances and the steamer weighted runs created plus, any guesses what the Rangers lineup grades out for as an aggregate WRC plus?
88.
They would be thrilled. 79. That's what happens when you've got Jeff Mathis at 46 bringing down the rear. No one is above 100.
Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah. DeShields at 75 leading off. Kiner Falefa garbage. Scott Heineman doesn't even have a salary on Yahoo. These guys are terrible. And yet, I'll probably have a couple shares because I think Gio also stinks, but neither here nor there. Brewers, number 1 in ownership on FanDuel, number 1 on DraftKings. This is your chalk stack. Does any part of that seem weird to you?
That whole thing seems weird to me.
That the Brewers are the chalk stack?
Yeah.
Okay. Talk to me about
I mean,
it. They're cheap.
I think they're a good stack.
Yeah.
Colby Allard's not great. He's young. He has potential. He's not a really high strikeout guy. He's not a really high walk guy. Just kind of a decent arm that could turn into something better, but I don't know why the Brewers are getting more ownership than like the Yankees. Or the Red Sox or the Royals.
I mean, Kane 41, that is a cheap tag. 42 for Grandal, I like. Only Yelich is above 5K, almost 6K. I don't disagree. Like, they are my 6th ranked team, so I am on the same page as you in that I think that they're going a little over-owned. I don't think that you're surprised that they're getting owned, just that they're getting owned in that volume.
Yeah, I think they're good. I think that there's some good, point per dollar plays. There's clearly upside with guys like Hura and Braun and Grandal, but it just surprised me that they were the top projected.
Yeah. If that holds, I'll be pretty under the field on the Brewers. Through no fault of their own, but I've got the Angels, Red Sox, Indians, and Astros all ahead of them. That says nothing for the Royals or I don't know who else we're missing here. Do you have a favorite Brewers bat?
Grandal because of position.
Yeah. 27% owned, but no complaints there. I'd ask for a Rangers bat recommendation, but I don't think that I'm even allowed to say those words out loud. So,
like Elvis Andrus, I guess.
Man, they are just all sorts of awful. Let's get off of this game. Unless you want to talk anything more about Milwaukee.
No.
Okay. Twins and Indians, 4.4 run implied total for the Twins, 5 run implied total for the Indians, 55% chance to win for Cleveland. Devin Smeltzer going for Minnesota. Shane Bieber going for Cleveland. No ownership going to Smeltzer. Shane Bieber, 3% on Yahoo, 2% on FanDuel, 3% on DraftKings. This is a Twins team that is not expected to have Nelson Cruz in the lineup. How do you feel about Shane Bieber?
I will pretty much always be overweight on Shane Bieber, it seems, at this point. I think the big thing is that, like, in projection systems, he still doesn't come in that great because he doesn't have the track record of, being this guy, but he has the best K-minus BB percentage on the slate. He has the second highest strikeout percentage. He has the best XFIP. He has the best Sierra. He's been phenomenal. It's not a good matchup against Minnesota. If Cruz isn't in the lineup, that obviously takes out one of their best power bats. It does also take out one of their highest strikeout guys. You still get some strikeouts from Castro, Sano, Crone if he's in the lineup, Gonzalez. But really, it's just Bieber is so good that I'm willing to take a chance on him at virtually no ownership.
Yeah, obviously, like the Kepler, Polanco, Rosario trio will be a little nerve-wracking due to Bieber's less than stellar reputation against left-handers. But I mean, if he's just not owned, that's the guy that I want up there. It's not you would rather have Cruz out than in, right?
From an upside standpoint, no. From a projectability standpoint, probably.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tricky. He's the guy
Although I
that
guess
he's the guy that's most likely to ruin your Shane Bieber shares.
right.
But it's an interesting conundrum because it's certainly better for Bieber. Yeah, I'm going to be well over 3%.
Yeah. Yeah, I think like the start against the Astros a couple starts ago was a similar one where it was just like, okay, well, nobody wants to play the guy who's probably having the best season on the slate.
Right.
And I thought I would get like 10%. I got like 20. So I just have accepted that Matt Boyd and Shane Bieber are two guys that I will have tons of every time they pitch, no matter who they're facing.
Yep. Do you like going to any Twins bats? I see no interest if Bieber's getting no ownership.
Yeah, I mean, they're cheap enough and they have power. You mentioned Bieber struggles against lefties. It's not even that. It's like he strikes out 32% of them,
Right.
but he has allowed a 183 expected ISO. He will give up some home runs. So getting like a cheap Rosario, Polanco, reasonably priced Kepler, Marwin Gonzalez is free. I think you can make an argument there, but if I could just choose one side of this game, I would take Bieber.
I like Kepler as a one-off. I don't need much from Minnesota. I do need to talk about the Indians, though. They are ranked 7th in ownership on FanDuel, 6th on DraftKings. They are my number 2 stack today. Am I crazy?
I don't think I'll be that high on them, but I get why you like them.
Yeah. They just have so much power in this lineup now that they've acquired Puig and Franmil Reyes. It's really changed their entire construction. Lindor, Santana, Puig, Ramirez, Franmil Reyes, all with well north of 200 ISOs from Steamer. That's a big time number.
Since 2017 against left-handed pitching, Lindor 213, Reyes 213, Ramirez 210, Perez 226, Mercado 186, Santana 183. Like those are all solid numbers.
Yeah. I'm going to certainly be on a little bit more of the Indians. Minnesota's Park plays up a little bit more to right-handed power, so that fits pretty well going up against Smeltzer. I'm going to have a lot. I will certainly be over the field.
Yeah, no complaints here. I think Reyes is a really good one-off.
Do you have a particular? Is that your favorite Indians bat?
Yeah.
3,600. Hard to not be. I'll agree with you there. And then I always like Lindor, but
right,
not news. Go Indians. Keeping it going. Final 8 o'clock game. Cardinals and Pirates. 4.8 run implied total for the Cards. 4.2 for the Pirates. 57% chance to win for St. Louis. Dakota Hudson going for the Cards. Chris Archer going for the Pirates. No ownership going to Dakota Hudson. Archer, 12% on Yahoo, 7 on FanDuel, 14 on DraftKings. You taking a shot at Chris Archer against the Cards here?
He always gets ownership, but it's really tough on Archer because from a strikeout standpoint, there is upside here. Yeah. Even this year when he hasn't been good, he's still striking out almost 26% of hitters. So there's that, but he's walking over 11%. The Cardinals have Carpenter and Ozuna back in the lineup, so it's not the favorable matchup that it was for a while. The game's in St. Louis, so it's a park downgrade for Archer, and he's going to get some ownership. So I don't think he's put together a start yet this year where you actually had to have him in your lineups. And as long as he's going to keep getting ownership in the mid-teens, I'll probably just keep being below the field on him.
Can't disagree. I'm not interested.
I'd rather get the Cardinals.
They are 10th in ownership on FanDuel, 11th on DraftKings, but that is not representative. Matt Carpenter's at 15% on FanDuel. That's making up the large majority of this. Going right back to the beginning of the season where Carpenter was just getting massive ownership in the leadoff spot over and over and over again. I agree. If Archer picks up any love, I would rather have the Cardinals side, but I don't get the sense that I'm going to get offense on either side of this game.
Yeah, the Cardinals are just really affordable. Archer's allowed over 2 home runs per 9 innings. There's power in this lineup with Carpenter, Ozuna, DeYoung. Against right-handed pitching this year, Ozuna has a 254 ISO. DeYoung's at 215. Goldie's at 199. Carpenter's at 150, but we know that he's just had a weird year and that it'll probably be higher. So there is some power at the top and middle of this lineup.
Any Pirates?
I don't think so. Adam Frazier, I guess, is a good value leading off, but Hudson's a really good ground ball pitcher, doesn't strike guys out. The pricing on the Pirates just isn't really that appealing. I guess Josh Bell, too, at 4,500. He's been slumping, but still has massive power potential.
Yeah, Frazier is $10 on Yahoo. I think that's pretty appealing for a leadoff second baseman. Otherwise, I'm good here. Colin Moran, $8, I guess, is fine as well. I don't know, just not a game for offense for me. All of the offense seems to be taking place at the 7 o'clock hour, so I don't think I ever did a timestamp for this game. Let me see, Bruce. So that would have been Minnesota versus Tejas. I did. Look at me. Starting to become second nature. Had to happen eventually. Dodgers we go. Dodgers taking on the Diamondbacks. 4.4 run implied total for the Dodgers. 3.1 for the Diamondbacks. Lowest number on the slate. 65% chance to win for LA. Walker Buehler going for the Dodgers. Robby Ray going for Arizona. Buehler at 41% on Yahoo, 18 on FanDuel, 25 on DraftKings. That is the chalk pitcher of the day, although, multiple pitchers close to him in ownership. Robby Ray, 24% owned on Yahoo, 7 on FanDuel, 12 on DK. Let's start with Buehler. How do you feel about the most expensive pitcher on today's slate?
I like him a lot. The salary, is obviously the only concern.
Yep.
You're paying all the way up for him, but he has the second best K minus BB percentage on the slate, 29% strikeout percentage, only a 3.8% walk percentage, 3.24 xFIP is second best to Bieber, 3.38 Sierra is second best to Bieber. Not the best strikeout matchup against Arizona, but a below average offense overall in terms of production. So yeah, I have no problems with Buehler.
Okay. Yeah, I feel the same way. He was the first pitcher I wrote up in Spotlight Pitchers. The only negative is the price, and I can get over that. It's a great matchup. He doesn't get blasted by any side. He doesn't really have any weaknesses. He strikes out everybody equally, so I'm Team Walker Buehler here. Does the 25% ownership concern you at all? Like, in the grand scheme of things, would you rather just flip him and Bieber?
No, because I don't want 3% Walker Buehler. It doesn't concern me. I mean, it's a 14-game slate, so it's really easy to get contrarian hitters. I'm not concerned at all about the ownership.
Okay. Not that I think the 25% is high or anything. We just have so many sort of guys up in that area that I wonder if it's just not that appealing, if it's just going to be Buehler, Smiley combos all over the place.
Right.
How do you feel about Robby Ray? 12% ownership going up against the Dodgers. This doesn't feel like a spot where I want Robby Ray.
Yeah, it's a pretty terrifying spot. The Dodgers obviously have plenty of power. The one thing working in Ray's favor is that most of the Dodgers' best hitters are left-handed. But against left-handed pitching this year, the Dodgers still have a 10% walk percentage, which it just sets up as a spot where even though Ray does have the highest strikeout percentage on the slate, which obviously makes him appealing, especially because he's coming in at a discount, 10.2% walk percentage, it just sets up as a spot where he could be burning through a lot of pitches pretty quickly in this game.
Yeah, I just can't here. I'm surprised he's even getting any ownership, especially at his price. Like, it's not even like it's a discount. 9,800 for Robby Ray against the Dodgers is not good.
I mean, it's a discount compared to like Buehler or Strasburg.
Right, but I mean for Robby Ray in particular, like
Sure,
that is a higher price than he should be in this spot. I can't do it. I would rather just not have that. Dodgers right now, 25th in ownership on FanDuel, 10th on DraftKings. They're not getting all that much. And then the Diamondbacks are getting no ownership whatsoever. Will you be rostering bats here?
Probably not too much. If AJ Pollock's back in the lineup, he gives you a nice value option, probably leading off. Tyler White gives you a cheap guy with a bat.
He is $7 on Yahoo as well, by the way.
Yeah. Will Smith is a decent option, but I don't think it's a team that I get to all that much.
Yeah, I'm a Jazzy Jeff guy myself, so I don't need Will Smith. Terrible joke. I sometimes I hate myself.
Are there times that you don't?
Yeah, a lot. I mean, most times I don't.
What'd you say?
Most times I don't. It's like it's like life trolling. Most times I don't hate myself because other people do so much that I get the reverse satisfaction out of it.
Gotcha.
Like that email from earlier today.
Yeah, that was amazing.
I don't have anything else in this game.
Me neither.
Give me favorite bat.
Pollock, if he's in.
Yeah. Projected to lead off, 10% ownership on DK right now. Can't beat it at 3,700. Let's see. Padres and Rockies. 4.8 run implied total for the Pods. 4.1 for the Rockies. 57% chance to win for San Diego. Cal Quantrill going for the Pods. Kyle Freeland going for the Rockies. No ownership really going to Quantrill, just 5% on DraftKings. Freeland only being owned on DK, $4,800, 15% ownership. Talk to me about Kyle Freeland.
I mean, I understand why he'll get ownership just because of the salary, but I think that the Padres are a pretty scary offense. You know, they don't have Reyes anymore, so that hurts, but Freeland against righties this year, 15.7% strikeout percentage. Even going back to last year, 17.7% strikeout percentage, 171 expected ISO. This year, it's a 236 expected ISO. And you still just have a lot of dangerous righties here. You know, Tatis, Margot's not bad. Machado's obviously really good. Renfro's really good. Myers is good. Arias is a promising prospect. Hedges has power. It's a really scary lineup, I think, for a left-handed pitcher that just does not miss bats.
I agree. I need a couple more lefties in there to make me feel better.
I don't think they have those.
Yeah, I don't think they do either. I didn't think the Freeland would get to 15% ownership, honestly. So
I think that it wouldn't be surprising if that comes down and Smiley's goes up.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Smiley's is the second highest number on the slate right now, but
yeah, but like Smiley, if Smiley is like 40 or 50% owned, I wouldn't be surprised.
I don't disagree.
On DraftKings and Yahoo, not on FanDuel.
Right. Yeah, like I was figuring Freeland would be like 2, 3, and I'd be like, okay, I'll get 10 to 15, and just hope and pray that today isn't the day that he gets absolutely annihilated. But if everybody's already there, I'm not. I'm less enthusiastic. Do you have any interest in Quantrill?
No, just I don't. I'd rather just go to Smiley.
I get it. So let's talk about hitters then. Padres are 9th in ownership on FanDuel. That is pretty much just Hunter Renfroe. 18th on DK, so no ownership. The Rockies aren't getting owned at all. Do you have any